the Times story, which is the Prime Minister is among 50 set to be questioned by the police. Who's got this one?
Yeah, I can start us off there. It's a great number, isn't it? He's going to be one of 50. Being questioned seems more fun than it's going to be. They're going to be sent a questionnaire, like when you've bought something off Amazon.
Yes.
And
how was your experience of the party? From 10, very satisfied?
Smiley face to smiley face with messed up hair. But Boris Johnson expects to be one of the 50 to be quizzed by police. They love a quiz. We know that about them. The only problem is these questionnaires have a formal legal status, and those receiving them will be required to answer truthfully. Not necessarily his wheelhouse.
No.
So it leaves him in a bit of a difficult situation. Possibly could get a fixed penalty fine for it. This is also mixed in with a lot of the coverage about the picture of this Christmas quiz, which had Prosecco, according to one newspaper, and tinsel. Now, straight away you think, should we care about this?
Yeah.
And I mean, probably not.
Not care that it's tatty and a bit shoddy and a bit sort of cheap.
Well, it looked like it might have been Veuve Clicquot, actually.
Oh, was it?
I'm just saying.
Veuve Clicquot.
Yeah, that one too.
Yeah.
A decent champagne. I was surprised impressed, actually, you know.
Yeah, I would hope to see proper champagne. It almost seems to be disrespectful to our French NATO allies across the water at this troubling time. You don't want to start using...
The picture's not shocking because I suppose most people look at Boris Johnson and presume he's had a drink.
Yeah.
He has that look about him. Yeah. It's more about the fact that...
I saw him cycling through London at about 10 a.m. several years ago. I think it might even have been in his mayoral days, and he looked as if he was on his way home from an all-nighter. He really did. It was absolute state he was in, yeah. It never left me that.
So, yeah, it's not a surprise, right, that he partied over the holidays, but there were restrictions, weren't there?
Yes.
Yeah. They weren't meant to do it, and it's against the rules and all that. So.
The question is, again, as it always is to me, were they organising parties or were they introducing alcohol into a pre-existing work environment? Which is still naughty, possibly, but not quite
this
as
was a quiz, though, wasn't it?
Exactly. So unless you're really good at... I mean, he could come up with questions off the top of his head, like, now who wants a contract for PPE? If it was those kind of questions, we need to look into it. But questions makes me think planning.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of us say, oh, you know, why go after him? Most of us bent the rules anyway, or a lot of people did, I guess. Some got caught. Maybe he did now. I don't know. It just seems like this is something the police didn't want to investigate. They didn't think it was important enough. But now because the photo came out, they think, oh, I guess we have to investigate this now after.
Yeah, there has been a lot of building pressure, and I think it's been a question of trying to read the mood of the country rather than lead from the front with what might be right or appropriate or legal, isn't it?
At first it seemed like Dame Dick was his friend, and now I'm not sure. Now I think she's distancing herself a bit.
Well, she's been protected to some extent too, hasn't she, by the party? There's been to and fro. But I've been slightly surprised just how strong the feeling is. Even I have had to try and read the mood in my own house, because I was under the impression that we had a certain kind of laissez-faire attitude.
But it's not about the tinsel, or it's not about the drink. It's about if you're going to make a rule, stick to it.
Yeah.
If you don't like the rule, don't make it, and then don't stick to it.
It's also about Dominic Cummings wanting him out of office.
It's that, isn't it? That's the thing that I do slightly wonder if people have registered that sufficiently. I know some people have, clearly, but the extent to which this is a party political game.
And it seems as though he's had a strategy, and he's releasing these photos one by one, and he keeps saying, I've got better photos than those, here's a better one.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to draw out the angst the public feels. He's afraid if he releases everything once, the public will get bored and want to move on.
Yeah.
So he's keeping the story alive.
Yeah. He's a criminal.
I'd love to. I wish he was managing my act. I wouldn't be here. I'd be playing O2. But yeah,
his photograph gallery and his phone. Which one shall I lounging around?
Brilliant.
In his jacuzzi.
He's someone you want to get drunk with at the holidays.
Yeah.
All the stuff he could
yes
show you.
Yes and no.
Yeah, because he'll take pictures and he'll keep them.